So a recent poll that we took here in the Agency Stable Facebook group is that over half of you are relying primarily on referrals, and that can be pretty challenging when you're trying to scale your business beyond referrals, beyond your network. And I've had a lot of connections on my own personal profile and have asked me to share what we have been finding that has been working. So this is why I'm doing a video on this. So how to generate leads from ice cold sources like LinkedIn and cold email, how to warm them up and get them eager to hear an offer from you, and how to also get the cycle happening in as little as 2 weeks. Now, obviously that's not going to be working for every business for 2 weeks, but I didn't think this was possible either when we were first testing it. So, whatever you think is possible is possible. It can kind of come down to that. So here are the 5 variables that we are seeing work with this. Let me just one back. So there are 5 variables that we've seen. Now, we work with consulting agencies. That's hands off CEO. That's what we do, is we work with consulting agencies to help them scale multi-million-dollar companies that can run without them. Now, the reason why I'm sharing that is that that most of our clients do not actually have all 5 of these things in place, and they're not actually using as detailed a process as we're using here, because the reality is just doing 2 or 3 of these things blows up their business with more business than they can handle at the moment. So just if you're looking at adding hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next 12 months, you probably only need to do 2 or 3 of these. If you want to add millions of dollars, you probably need to do 5 of them. So here are the 3 different phases: attract, nurture, and close. Now for cold traffic. Now this is so I have spent 10 years testing what actually takes to be able to generate cold traffic and get them warmed up and actually be asking you for an offer in a very short amount of time. And this is what we've seen works. Now contrast and compare this to the referral sales cycle, which jumps just from referral to the sales call, right? Now there are some challenges to that, which obviously, not every referral is going to be excited about jumping on a sales call with you, right? But anyway, so here are some of the challenges with referrals, is that, if you're familiar with this marketing funnel, of course, and the vast majority of business and leads are going to be in the consideration, interest, and awareness, like in the higher level of these stages. So when we're focusing just on referrals, the challenge is that we are eliminating the vast majority of the market. So and part of this challenge too with referrals is that it can leave you in a place where your business is not differentiated enough, which can drive down prices and your fees, and also erode away at your profits. So oftentimes this can actually lead to a longer sales cycle. Referrals can generate a longer sales cycle. Sometimes it's a lot shorter too. But the challenge is that it can be at the whim of, it is at the whim of others. It's at the whim of your clients. It's at the whim of your colleagues, and really it's out of your control, and it can create insufficient leads to be able to generate your growth targets. And also, because they're further down this funnel here, at this, most of them are going to be at the evaluating stage, where there can be a lot of competition, and you can find yourself in these RFP battles, which is just really not fun, right? And it can be an enormous waste of time, and then also set up client engagements for them to say jump and you to say how high, which is a very difficult place to be, being in a place to be able to scale your company. So the other thing is when you're jumping right from just a referral to a sales call, also can feel pretty high pressure for the prospect, the person who was referred to you, which is oftentimes why they might not want to get on the phone with you right away. So the other side of this is it's very dependent on the CEO, and your network, which means that you're picking up every one of those calls. It also means that they're going to, if you're the one closing the sales, they're going to expect you to be the one delivering it too. And also the quality can vary considerably. And what it looks like is oftentimes you solving all these different problems for these different prospects that come to you. And it can be very reactive growth. And there's so much variation that it can be really just hard to scale. So, what we find works better is those 5 aspects, which I'm going to tell you a little bit more out in a moment, but to be able to take control of your marketing and selling process and really be able to drive a lot more leads so that you can, turn away 80% of leads that come to your business and really just cherry pick and choose the ones you want to work with. Actually, at my company, Hands Off CEO, we turn away at least 80% of the leads that come to us. And we can do that, and because we're very intentional about who we're targeting, what they need to have in place, and it really flips the switch where they're the ones who are like, do I qualify? Can this work for me? And it's definitely a much more fun place to be generating business from. So there's the attract, generating traffic, nurture, and close. So as marketing professionals, a number of you are marketing professionals. Some of this is going to be review, but but it's a little bit different for consulting agencies because you have high ticket services, and the way your clients buy very oftentimes is different than the way that your clients' customers buy when you're helping them grow their company. So anyway, there are a number of different leads that you can be using. I'm using some examples here with cold traffic, a cold email, LinkedIn, paid ads. Paid ads really take a long time to make work. And I actually find that LinkedIn and cold email is significantly easier to get working. You don't have to have nearly as many pieces dialed in to see results. Paid ads are definitely very scalable, and they can be great to be using once you've dialed in some of these other pieces. Dream 100 is amazing because you can just pick and choose exactly who you want to work with, but it takes putting together the systems to be able to generate those, to create that goodwill and those relationships over time. So anyway, you whatever source, the lead source, it doesn't really matter. As long as your ideal clients hang out there. So then you get oftentimes what we find works the best is having some kind of some hook that's going to make them want to get on a 15-minute call with you. And by the way, the call could actually even be like, hey, I have some thoughts for you how you can make things better in your business. That sometimes that's appropriate actually. Now it can go to this 15-minute call, and then that call can lead them into an executive briefing. The executive briefing is really just informative, and it's an opportunity for you to really help your prospects understand their problem at a deeper level than they could possibly understand on their own, and show them an alternative way to be able to approach it and generate much better results. How you do that is through case studies, and you show your process, but you show your process and the outcomes your clients get, and you're teaching it through case studies. So if you want to see an example of that, we have an executive briefing that we do that you can sign up for. So from the nurture, at that point, the executive briefing, at none of that, there is absolutely no selling that goes on there. Actually, in our executive briefing, we have people ask like, well, what's the pitch? What can you do for us? How much is this? And they were just like, this is not what this executive briefing is about. Like, you have to draw a really clear line in the sand to create that integrity and to create that space. But you've done it right when people are asking that question though. So and then that naturally leads into a conversation that they're asking for, that they want. And what we call ours is a scalable growth visioning session. And really the whole point of it for us is to help prospects to see a bigger vision than they could possibly see on their own, and to evaluate whether we can actually help them accomplish that or not. And if not, we'll make a referral. We maybe offer them something, a little bit different offer if there is something that actually can fit for them. But at this point, it's really very important to help them to sell a bigger vision and also to have the integrity to say no. This is so critical. And unfortunately, the vast majority of the market is not doing this. And it drives me crazy, because if you just get your targeting down and if you just focus on results and you just dial this in, then you don't ever have to work with clients that you can't generate results for. And it's just so much more fun when you do it this way. So as I was sharing before, there's 5 variables to make this work. We talk about these in our executive briefing that we have, but you need to get the targeting right. The targeting is so critical. And the targeting, how do you know what the targeting is? Well, you have to be really clear on who you can do your best work for under what circumstances, and what are they going to get working with you over the course of 12 months with your company. You need an attention grabbing hook, and I'll give you an example of that in just a moment. You need a compelling nurturing process to educate and build desire. Our example of that is executive briefing. There's lots of ways to do that, but we find the executive briefing is really good for high ticket services where there's complexity to it, and where you have high level clients who need to see that this is different than all the other snake oil that is being pitched out there. And you need to have an irresistible offer, an offer that your prospects are like, I want this. I hope I fit. I hope I qualify this for this. And an offer that preferably has a guarantee. Our guarantee, we have a 5x ROI guarantee. We also have a 100% happiness guarantee. I mean, that's not necessarily the offer, but it definitely helps us to be able to get people interested and hooked onto calls. It helps us be able to generate a lot more leads. Obviously, you have to have your systems in place to be able to make that work, and qualifying your clients. But I think that just goes without saying, because it's just the right thing to do. And then a qualification process that really paints an expansive vision. And I already talked about that. So now that the hook I was mentioning, so our executive briefing, 5x is to scale to $100,000 a month in profits and beyond. And if you want to see how this process works, how we orchestrate this process, you can come to one of our next executive briefings at handsoffceo.com/briefing. And you can see our whole process and how we use case studies to be able to build desire and to be able to showcase like a bigger, more expansive vision. So hope this was valuable for you. I know we had a lot of people that have asked me to put together a video like this, but we're seeing working, and we are absolutely seeing work for high ticket sales going from, in a 2-week period of time, from cold sources. And we've been seeing that for a number of years, but we've just keep dialing it in. And I hope this was helpful for you, and I hope to see you on one of our next executive briefings. Bye.